Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago. It's Friday, the 2nd of June, 2017. It's about 8:35. We're running late. I said we would start by 9. I'm hoping everybody wasn't just standing by to click at 9, because if they are, we're going to have to wait on them. So let's see who's around.
Excuse me for me
Yeah?
to drop shine. Before you come, another quick reminder to say, this coming
Friday evening.
and a police gonna open up lawn. You ain't the man
Who around?
around town. And it's a Friday evening. Boom! The people that died of working. Lord, them hear the disco playing. Boom!
If it's too early, I can wait and come back at 9. Let me know.
Ain't no summer set. Burrito will be greater with the disco operator. 5 double 18 and a 6 liter. This the digital sweeter. See down them just like up with the echo chamber. Watch your man. Play the play. And they must rock the game. Them walk and step it with them can't sit down and play.
You know this?
Play for the vibe that keeps them alive.
Mr. Gun and Smiley.
They must be jumping. But when we play LP, say them really love me. They must be jump and spring. But it's a dance and a free. And it's a Friday evening. Boom! The people that died of working. Lord, them hear the disco playing. Boom! It make them feel like dancing.
I don't get like one of them DJs and get one of them wheel sounds, you know, to say we're inside. What's going on, Trinidad and Tobago? It's a Friday evening. Plenty stuff happening. And who's around? Who's out there? Yeah? Who's out there? Nobody saying nothing. We'll wait them out. People limping into the show tonight. Let me just shut down and go shake us and drink some beers. Where's it?
Live if you wanna live. Rastaman, vibration, yeah. Positive. That's what we got to give. I, vibration, yeah. Positive. Got to have a good vibe.
It's that kind of night.
Yeah. Irie Ice. Whoa, whoa. Positive vibration, yeah. Positive.
682-2110. You can call me from now.
If you get down and you quarrel.
While the audience building, feel free to call. 682-2110. Do not call and take a half hour talking. Because the phone is beeping and everybody want to be calling. And nobody's calling. Right, we ain't taking no calls. 682-2110. What am I forgetting? This is not feeling normal. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Good night, everybody. I said the date. And I said the time.
Just can't live that negative way. If you know what I mean.
Say it with love.
Make way for the positive.
Joseph Camacho said, say what I am saying tonight with love. No ranting. But you know what I realized? The rant videos get plenty more numbers. Why is that? I think it's too bright. Better that way, yeah? I prefer that. Too much light in my face. Sorry about that. We need a producer and a director. We need a director. We need one. Who volunteering? Too mellow. That is what's going on. Hey, wake it up. Yeah? You don't want that? There we go, local. There you go, local. Ready? I'm going to call for Bacchanal on Friday too, now, Michelle. Somebody designed PP pins. You see how sexy? A picture of it on my wall. We have good people in this place. Today I asked for somebody to sponsor 500 tickets. About 9 people messaged me and said, I'll pay for it. Let me know how much.
24 parties we hit in a row. Tonight at the
People has got people.
before we are not on the road.
And Ellie answer the phone and put you live on air. I'll call you back after the show, okay?
Everybody know, put your hands up so. If you're ready for the road, let your friend them know. We're ready for the road.
That was my mother. She would enjoy that.
We're ready for the road. So we're ready. We're ready. Yeah, we're ready. We're ready. Yeah, we're ready. We're ready. We're ready. We're ready. We're ready. We're ready.
Are you really ready? This evening, the media read this because this hit Trinidad today, and I mentioned yesterday that there was bacchanal brewing in the Ministry of Education. I have received documents that we are taking to the fraud squad today. So we said it yesterday, so the players know that the information in the public space. So people jumping out and trying to get out of the way. But it might be a little bit too late. Hello, good evening, you're live.
Philip Edward Alexander. I take some licks today, you know.
You're taking licks?
Yeah, I take some licks today. People tell me, don't share your video with them.
Oh my God.
They don't agree. They don't agree that the PEP can make a change. I said, let me tell you something. I said the PEP has no mileage. That's the only thing we have that we are disadvantaged for. They have no mileage. They have no track record to show what we have done. I said, but
you're kind of wrong there, though.
You're willing to sit down and take the nonsense of the present regime and the previous regime. I said, well, fine. I said, you could go ahead and judge the PEP without getting some proper, what do you call it? Like I say, mileage. Without getting some proper reputation going. You could go ahead and do that. I said, I close-minded Trinidadian. The whole day I'm taking links with that.
I wanna.
But I don't care. I'm going to fight.
No, but I wanna tell you when you come tomorrow.
I can promote.
No. When you come.
I noticed you mentioned something about what the minister said about the government not having well, the same thing. That's the same thing Mr. Rowley said that the people are grown too accustomed to the government taking care of roads and police station and healthcare and that kind of thing. It's high time we get over that. So I'm saying, if that's the case, give us our tax money now. Don't take we money and then tell we what all they're going to do with it, which is not what you are supposed to do with it.
But when you come tomorrow, I'll give you a list of things that we've done without ever having been in government, and it will shock you. You'll be able to answer those people. But tune in now to what we're going to deal with here right now. Cool? See you tomorrow.
Well, I'll see you tomorrow.
Later, my brother.
Looking forward.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Tomorrow at noon, we live. Okay, so we will stick up in the calls and get into this. Okay, so we mentioned yesterday, y'all want this kind of politics tonight, or we can just play music? Tell me, because we can do it either way. I'm looking for the first 3 comments to tell me what to do. Y'all want the bacchanal, or y'all want music and we can lime and call it Friday? What y'all want? Because we have some marks the bus, but we can bus it Monday. Also, as we have a lot of us here, we may not be able to continue doing a show every night because it's taking a lot and we have a lot of stuff going on, but we guarantee to be doing a show at least 3 times for the week, and we're looking at Sunday, Monday and Wednesday. So that might be the case, right? Okay, everybody say they want this. Yesterday we put in the public space that bacchanal was about to erupt out of the Ministry of Education. Now you all had read Denise Wren article in the Express. If you want to read that for you too, we could start from there. If I could find that. And Express Plain, you had to pay to read. Like that will last. Like that will last as long as you Red House Fire. You have to pay to read. In fact, you know what? Forget that. Let me deal with this. The Honorable Anthony Garcia, Minister of Education, Education Towers, Building A, 5 St. Vincent Street, Port of Spain, their Minister. I submit my resignation as Chairman of the Educational Facilities Company Limited, EFCL, due to family commitments requiring greater attention at home and abroad. with effect from June 2nd, 2017. Slow that, eh? Slow that abroad thing. When I received the personal invitation from Dr. the Honorable Keith Rowley in October 2015 to serve on the board of the EFCL, I graciously accepted, primarily in the spirit of national service and in the interest of the government and the people of Trinidad and Tobago. I want you all to hear all of this, because what I'm going to share after this will make you, anyway. A great sense of satisfaction comes from having facilitated improvement to the school infrastructure for teaching and learning, especially through the successful reopening of all schools for the 5 past consecutive school terms. On this, my third effort, dating back to November 2016 to demit this office, my resolve and commitment remain strong for this PNM Dr. Rowley-led administration. Having contributed significantly over a few decades to support and strengthen PNM administrations, I step away from this office now in furtherance of the protection of my reputation and family name, to ensure that no platform is provided for those who may wish to slow the movement of this great party that is the PNM. Honorable Minister, in thanking you for the amiable consideration and collaboration during my stewardship, please be assured of my highest consideration at all times. Carbon copy, the Honorable Dr. The Honorable Keith Rowley, Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Colm Imbert, Minister of Finance and Corporation Seoul, signed, Arnold Pigott. Arnold Pigott. This is what the media didn't share. I am going to share it now. The media shared that, which sounds very nice. It sounds like, here's a guy, he loves his country, he loves his government, he loves his leader, he's full of love, he's full of love and service. He got on board to love and serve, he loved everybody, he served everybody. And now that the time has come for the love and the service to come to an end, he had to write this letter, full of love, full of service. This is what I got. Now, I know I have it, and I sent it to others. And I have actual documents that's going to the fraud squad. The truth and facts behind the corrupt and fraudulent operations of the EFCL board led by Arnold Pigott. What? That contradicts all the love and all the service. I want to go back to the first letter, because this first letter was so full of love and service. Why would people want to come and make it sound like there is no love and service in this man? EFCL led by Arnold Pigott, out of control with corruption and manipulation of the truth. What? I want to stop reading. Tell me. Let's stop. Let's stop, because, of course, Arnold Pigott needs a hug. Arnold Pigott needs a hug. Yeah? He sounds like, on this my third effort dating back to November 2016 to demit office, I have been struggling and trying to leave, and it's just because you all needed me. I stayed. It's like one of those scenes in one of those B movies, Olivia Newton-John and John Travolta stretching, could barely reach, save me. Arnold and Garcia. And you could see Rowley in a nice flowing white frock, standing up at the top of the cliff looking down, and the breeze blowing in his head. Anyway, modus operandi of EFCL board led by Arnold Pigott, distortion of truth to conceal the current board's misconduct, fraudulent and unethical operations. Here is the truth, with all the supporting documentation of the gruesome nature of the board led by Arnold Pigott, Mr. Love and Service, surrounding the article on the Express entitled EFCL under audit again on December 18, 2016. Now, it's one of two things. This document I am about to read is either the kind of truth that the corporate control complicit media never broadcasts ever. So we've never had the truth ever. so that people were able to do what they want in this, the Royal Imperial Majestic Banana Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, for as long as they wanted, because even though people at great risk to themselves, their safety, charges and lawsuits, defamation, threats against their lives, still stepped out, blew whistles. I remember when Faris Al-Rawi, remember that savior of the nation, when he would storm the ramparts, when Kamla, the wicked witch of the east, was running the country. Every day Faris would be there, sword in hand, the sword of truth and justice, to protect whistleblowers. Legislation. His leader, the King of the North, Keith Christopher Rowley, savage-hearted, said, "We will defend whistleblowers." 2 years pass, and whoever is responsible for writing that legislation, the battery in the iPad dead. And until somebody could get them a battery, don't blame them, and do not blame Lionheart and Savageheart. Faris and Keith, they stand there ready to defend the whistleblowers. It's not them, it's the person on the iPad and the battery. And the minister in charge of batteries find that person. EFCL is under audit again because the Honorable Attorney General has been made aware by whistleblowers of the questionable actions with incriminating evidence of the current EFCL board led by Mr. Arnold Pigott, and has intervened accordingly. No. Let's go back to love and service. Let's go back to the love and service letter. Yes, let's not read anymore. Tell me to read any more of this document, because for a minute things were so calm in the land. We felt like things were full of love, but not anymore. It seemed that the source to the story in this article gruesomely twisted the information, giving the perception that the executive manager, Mr. Louis Frederick, was rightfully suspended on August 15, 2016, because he refused to sign letters of awards for the contracts for Barrackpore Vedic and New Grant primary schools, which the EFCL board instructed him to award to Junior Sami Contractors Limited. Now that whole paragraph seriously harshes the buzz. That whole paragraph takes us away from the love and the service in Mr. Pigott's letter. And I'm going to be referring to Mr. Pigott's letter. I am happy to have had the privilege to collaborate. I could see him and Garcia burning the midnight oil, working closely with a diligent, dedicated and professional team of board members. How could this person, going through many challenges, including reputational risks? Let's see what Mr. Loving Service Arnold Pigott was referring to. Now, like Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, who got email gate in his mailbox, I got this in my mailbox, and I'm sharing it like he shared. What the article miserably failed to report and seemed to disgustingly conceal is the bubble and corruption with respect to the award of these contracts, orchestrated by the EFCL board, don't say that, led by Arnold Pigott, no, which was the reason Mr. Frederick refused to sign the colluded letter of awards. Hence, Mr. Frederick was wrongly suspended, the plot thickens, by this EFCL board led by Dr. Love, Mr. Service, Arnold Pigott, for doing what is right against irregular and unethical practices. Now, I want you to pause and go and turn on TV6 and CNC3 and see, because they have this too. I want you to go and see, David Tadis said the email fake. I want you to go and turn it on now, quick, and see if they're broadcasting it. Not that we broadcasting it, because if they're not broadcasting it tonight, they'll broadcast it tomorrow as breaking news. But this is news. The following are the facts. Firstly, for the ill awards to company name of the Barrackpore Vedic and New Grant primary schools by the EFCL board led by Arnold Pigott. Now, If what this document says is remotely true, Mr. Pigott did not leave because of love and service. But as of now, I am believing that he is still full of love and full of service. It should be noted that prior to the tender process for all the repairs and maintenance projects, the chairman of the board of the tenders committee, Mr. Jeffrey Francis, gave a directive to the procurement manager to sanitize the current pre-qualified list of contractors by comparison of the pre-qualified list of contractors at inception of EFCL, and from May 2010 to September 2015. That's a strange block of time. That's like a 5-year electoral term, it sounds like. The contractors who were included on the list after May 2010 and not present on the list prior to May 2010 were to be red flagged and classed as unapproved contractors. Now, Southern Logistics Limited, CKID Construction Limited, Meckelfab Limited, and Trinsulate 2 Caribbean Limited were all on the approved list of contractors after the purge. Because it was a purge. Anybody between 2010 and 2015 that looked like a Kamla maniac, out the lights. As directed by the BTC, the Board Tenders Committee, was completed. It should be noted that Elgin Investments Company Limited fell on the unapproved list of contractors after the sanitation exercise as directed by the Board Tenders Committee was completed. Fact number 2. Do we continue? Do we stop? Do we stop here? Or we could continue this tomorrow, no? We could do it like a 3-part series. Fact number 2. Tender process conducted by procurement department and project management in accordance with procurement rules and ethical practices. Barrackpore Vidic. The letters of invitation were issued on July 26, 2016 to 3 contractors which were placed on the approved list after the above mentioned exercise was carried out. The 3 contractors are Southern Logistics Limited, CKID Construction Limited, and Trinsulate 2 Caribbean Limited. Closing date for tender submission was July 29, 2016. If you're drinking and it's Friday night, because there's some information here that you need to keep up and, you need to keep it on top of, because you can't be drunk and dealing with this. So you tell me. Yeah? Continue. We could leave the heavy stuff for Monday when we sober. Tell me. Go on. Somebody say that go on like they're serious. Closing date for tender submission was July 29, 2016. Opening date of tenders was July 29, 2016. 2 contractors out of the 3 invited submitted tenders. The submissions were from the following: Southern Logistics Limited, Trinsulate 2 Caribbean Limited. After the tender evaluation was carried out, it revealed that the recommended contractor for the job was Southern Logistics Limited at a cost of $5,948,400 VAT exclusive. The signed report, which we have, that was prepared for submission to the Board Tenders Committee substantiates the information for the Barrackpore Vidic. We have that information and we will share all that in the public space. We have all of it, and it's a fairly sizable bunch of documents, all the signatories, everything intact. The technical evaluation shows that the technical submission from Southern Logistics included design calculations. Therefore, the details of what was being proposed by Southern Logistics could have been compared to proposed cost to determine whether cost was reasonable. New Grant Anglican. The letters, you're bored, you all want to continue this? Continue. The letters of invitation were New Grant Anglican. The letters of invitation were issued on July 22nd, 2016 to 4 contractors, which were placed on the approved list after the above mentioned exercise was carried out. The purge, the sanitation, the Kamla maniacs, they're gone, deal with these people. Southern Logistics Limited, CKID Construction Limited, Trinsule 2 Caribbean Limited, Meccal Fab Limited. Closing date for tender submission was July 26, 2016. Opening date of tenders was July 26, 2016. One contractor out of the 4 invited submitted tenders. The submission was from Southern Logistics Limited. After the tender evaluation was carried out, it revealed that the recommended contractor for the job was Southern Logistics Limited at a cost of $6,897,402 VAT exclusive. The signed report that was prepared for submission to the Board Tenders Committee substantiates the information. We also have that. Right? But this is, that's the background information. That's they met on the boat. He drew a nice picture of her. She said she didn't like her life and she wanted to run away. That part, does it lead in? But we get into the real meat of the matter. Fact number 3. Invitation of a contractor after the tenders were closed and a tender evaluation already done. Unethical instructions issued by the EFCL Board Tenders Committee say no. The draft tender evaluation reports, which were prepared on July 29, 2016, were submitted to the Board Tenders Committee for review. The Board Tenders Committee did not agree with the Southern Logistics Limited being considered for the award, as they stated that this contractor received numerous jobs under the last administration. How did he survive the purge? Nevertheless, it should be noted that this contractor was considered approved after the sanitation exercise instructed by Mr. Francis was carried out, and also all the jobs which are similar in scope to this present one, which were undertaken by Southern Logistics in the past, were satisfactorily completed. The question remains. As stated in the Express article, Arnold Pigott informed on August 4th, 2016, that Southern Logistics was red flagged in the audit. Why didn't the EFCL board, led by Arnold Pigott, raise these concerns with respect to Southern Logistics prior to the contractor being invited to tender on the job? The FCL board was well aware of the list of approved contractors after the sanitation exercise which they instructed to be done. Why the lack of competency by the board to notice the so-called red flag contractors on the approved list prior to the tender? The EFCL board are the only ones who know the so-called red flag contractors from the audit. Why was this not communicated to EFCL management? The board is so inefficient that they let the tender process begin, tenders close, tenders open, and a tender evaluation done to then raise the so-called concerns when they realized Southern Logistics was recommended for the award as they got the best score. And yet they suddenly call these projects emergency projects. It seems very fishy. The Board Tenders Committee then gave a directive to invite a contractor named Elgin Investments Company Limited to submit a bid for this job after the tender had closed for these jobs and the bids already opened, as seen from the above reports. The Procurement Management and the Repairs and Maintenance Divisional Manager expressed disagreement with this instruction, which does not comply with tender rules and is very unethical, since the tenders for the 2 schools were already closed and also Elgin appeared on the unapproved red flagged contractors listed after the sanitation exercise. A letter of invitation was issued via a generic email to Elgin on August 4th, 2016, as per the Board Tenders Committee instructions. Stick a pin. What do we know? We know that an exercise was conducted in which pre-approved contractors for the Education Facilities Company Limited was struck off the register if they had any association with the United National Congress People's Partnership. Understandable. In this land, it is not about what you can do, but who you know and who you're associated with. So the 2 of them, PNM UNC, play this game. I ain't batting for either side. That's what you did. So we know that. So you end up with a sanitized list. Of the sanitized list, you have 2 schools to build. 3 people were invited to submit to one. 4 people invited to submit to the other. And only 1 person on both submitted. The submission fell within the range and you approved him. The question remains, why didn't the EFCL board, led by Arnold Pigott, Love and Service, Jack, formally cancel the tender and retender the job? None of the contractors were informed that the tender was cancelled at the point that the EFCL board, led by Love and Service, instructed to invite this contractor, Elgin, who, to add even further, was on the unapproved list of contractors to submit a tender. Now, this person clearly wants to stack the information that they give me. Is it a coincidence that Elgin is Junior Sammy's first name? Junior Sammy's father name is Elgin, and he is Elgin Junior Sammy. He legally changed his name to just Junior Sammy. I don't know that. Also, it's alleged that Mr. Jeffrey Francis, chairman of the board tenders committee of EFCL, has some relation to Junior Sammy. Again, I don't know if that is true. How can a contractor be invited for a job after tenders have closed, and worse yet, after tenders were open and the other contractors' bids are known? This is very unethical and shows that this contractor has been given an advantage and is favored. The email documentation below confirms the information about the EFCL board's instruction to invite Elgin, and we have these documents, to submit a tender after the tenders were closed and also opened, and the procurement managers, the repair managers, maintenance managers raised concerns with the EFCL's board on ethical instructions. Stick another pin. It's 2 pins. After you submit your tender, it's a lengthy and a drawn-out process. If you've ever been in any construction at all, a $6 million project takes a lot of work. It's a lot of information to gather and provide. So it costs a lot of money. And after you do that, you are doing that laboring under the assumption that there is a certain level of professionalism, ethics, and confidentiality. Yes? So if this is at all true, if up to this point it is at all true, at the very least, the entire board of the EFCL needs to be fired forthwith and Arnold Pigott investigated, or at least invited over for tea. Yeah? From Heather Joseph to William Roberts, carbon copy Louis J. Fredericks, Vanessa Hagley, and blind carbon copy Heather Joseph. We have stuff. William, while this may be a board instruction, I must state that inviting another contractor to bid on the same tenders which closed some days ago compromises the EFCL and contaminates the tendering process. It should be noted that the bids for these 2 jobs were once read out loud at the tender opening, and subsequent minutes were prepared and documenting same. We ought not to be inviting a contractor to bid on a job after the tender has closed unless the previous tender is cancelled. And in such a case, a proper justification will have to be forwarded to do such. While I will oblige and follow the board instructions, however, please note that this practice would open up the EFCL to undue scrutiny and accusations. They knew. Be guided accordingly and advise. Regards, Heather Joseph, Procurement Manager. On the 4th of August 2016, William Roberts replied, Heather, it's starting to read like a love story. Heather, my darling. No, he didn't say Heather, my darling. I said that. Heather, I was advised that the board of directors has instructed that the contractor, Elgin Investments Company Limited, be invited to attend a site visit and tender for the following. Notwithstanding, the site visits for these projects were conducted on July 21st, 2016, with a close of tender submission on the 26th July 2016 at 2 p.m. You are requested to invite this contractor and issue a request to tender. The details are as follows. And we have that. Regards, William Roberts, Senior Projects Manager, Repairs and Maintenance Division, Education Facilities Company Limited, 1st floor, Long Circular Place, 74 Long Circular Road, Maraval. Fact number 4. We're running out of pins and places to put them. Receipt of a proposal from a contractor who was never invited and who did not even exist on the pre-qualified list of contractors for repairs and maintenance projects. On August 11, 2016, the procurement manager received a bid from Junior Sammy Contractors Limited via email. She replied, informing them that the tender was closed and they were not invited, but nevertheless thanked them for their submission as seen below. From Heather Joseph to Junior Sammy Company Limited Engineering Department. Carbon Copy, Hugh Murphy, Fariz Khan, Mary Dean, Junior Army Limited, Document Control, Blind Carbon Copy, William Roberts, and J. Frederick, and Heather Joseph herself. Good day, sir, madam. I believe that there must be some mistake. It's like the people who asked me after the Titanic sank, wasn't there room on that door for Jack? Couldn't both of them fit? This letter makes me wonder. I believe there must be some mistake. The tender for the new Grant Anglican Primary School has already closed. She said, I believe there must be some mistake. You are tendering for a tender that is closed. Additionally, the EFCL never issued any letter of invitation to your company. Storm the dance. I thank you for your interest. However, regards. Regards is like, now please leave the party. You're not invited to this dance. On August 11th, Junior Sammy Company Limited Engineering Department wrote back, good afternoon, please see attached, kindly confirm receipt. And it is a completed form of tender. We have that as well. We have all of that. And yeah, New Grant Anglican School. We have the whole tender, $3,198,617.43. Now he came in below, but the tenders were already open. Now I'm not saying that anybody could have said, yo, check out this, what them bid. I'm not saying, but the tendering was under low, because that's how tendering is done, under low. So you can't just jump in after. Junior Sammy Limited committed a proposal that did not include any design calculation or any drawings, although this project was a design build. Yet the EFCL board, led by Arnold Peggott, Love and Service, you all remember him? Do we go back to him? What do we do with him? A great sense of satisfaction comes from having facilitated improvements to the school infrastructure for teaching and learning. This man has given his life, his breath, his blood, especially through successful reopening of all schools for the past 5 consecutive school terms. This person is saying, yet the EFCL board, led by Love and Service, recklessly and unethically instructed that the award be made to Junior Sammy at a cost of $3,366,998.26 exclusive of VAT and contingency for Barpo Vedic, and $3,198,617.43 for New Grant, according to the letter of award below. Mr. Hugh Murphy, President, Junior Sammy Contractors Limited, Samsam Hill, Claxton Bay. Dear sir, letter of acceptance, the award of the supply of installation and commissioning of containerized units and minor retrofitting works at the Barrackpore Vedic Memorial Primary School. There must be some mistake, because if you all remember, when we read the letter from Mr. Love and Dr. Service, Arnold Peggott, he is trying to avoid reputational risk. I am happy to have had the privilege to collaborate and work closely with a diligent, dedicated, and professional team of board members going through many challenges, including reputational risk. But when Ms. Heather Joseph told you, sir, you are compromising us here, you are opening us up to reputational risk, what did they do? The Education Facilities Company Limited, hereinafter referred to as EFCL, is pleased to inform Junior Sammy Contractors Limited, hereinafter referred to as the contractor, of our acceptance of your proposal in response to EFCL's request for a proposal for the supply, installation, and commissioning of containerized units and minor retrofitting works at the Barakpur Vedic Memorial Primary School in accordance with the terms and conditions of contract at a sum of $3,366,998 Trinidad and Tobago dollars and 26 cents. I'm assuming those are Canadian. VAT and contingency exclusive. The duration of the work schedule will be within a period of 1 month from the date of the letter of acceptance. Your signature of acceptance and this notification of award shall constitute a binding contract between your company and EFCL. And it is signed for Louis J. Frederick, and it is signed by Hugh Murphy for Junior Sammy. But there is a reason it is signed for Louis J. Frederick of the Education Facilities Company. Because Louis J. Frederick said, no, this is wrong, but wait. They also sent out to Mr. Hugh Murphy, President, Junior Sammy Contractors Limited, letter of acceptance, the award for the supply of installation and commissioning of containerized units and minor retrofitting works at the New Grant Primary School. We refer to the above caption title, matter, and the hereinafter and the hereinafter. Please inform Junior Sammy, refer to the contractor, of our acceptance of your proposal for $3,100,000. We have that signed again for Louis J. Frederick. But why does Louis not sign himself? Here is where the corruption of the EFCL board led by Arnold Pigott lies, and what led Mr. Frederick's refusal to sign those letters of awards, and hence his suspension by the EFCL board for standing up for what is right and ethical. But I don't think Arnold Pigott is aware, and I refuse to believe, because Arnold Pigott, if you remember, is full of love and service, and he is all for mitigating reputational risk. He said, on this, my third effort, dating back to November 2016, to demit this office, my resolve and commitment. He's been trying to leave since November 2016. This Mark Bus in August 2016. Fire coming down the road, you know. Fire coming down the road. And they know. And when a man know fire coming down the road is, honey, pack. We have to go and visit relatives in Panama. Having contributed significantly over a few decades to support and strengthen PNM administrations, I step away. You can see that part of the movie, eh? I step away from this office now in furtherance of the protection of my stellar reputation. I put the word stellar, my reputation and family name, and to ensure that no platform is provided for those who may wish to slow the movement of this great lumbering corruption cancer, of this great party that is the PNM. Firstly, you all should sit down. Sit down, drink something. This is not vodka. Firstly, the EFCL board, led by Love and Service Arnold Pigott, gave unethical instructions to invite a contractor after tenders closed on July 26, 2016 for New Grant and July 29, 2016 for Barakpur, and bids already open on those days. The contractor, Elgin Investment Limited, was invited on August 4, 2016 to submit a tender. The contractor, Junior Sammy Contractors Limited, submitted a tender on August 11, 2016, but this contractor was never invited and never pre-qualified with the EFCL. Stop the presses. The Guardian, the Express, TV6 and TNC3, and Mark Basant and all the other Mark Bussers, Sunati Mirage. Last time we sent out an APB, we can't find Sunati. This is the kind of thing Sunati will bite into, if only Arnold Pigott was appointed by Kamala, maybe. The submissions for Junior Sammy for both Barakpur and New Grant contain no design drawings or calculations. So therefore, the EFCL board, led by Love and Service Arnold Pigott, recklessly. Now, this person is not reckless with the use of words. So if they use the word recklessly, they're serious about it. Recklessly awarded these projects to Junior Sammy for millions of dollars without even knowing what those millions of dollars were awarded to build. It's like Stuart Christopher Keith Rowley Young, when he said, I know that the people who submitted these bills to the PTSC were never invited to build anything, but they've built it. So let's pay them. We don't know what Junior Sammy is going to build, but no problem. Give him the award because it's love and it is service. Junior Sammy could have therefore built a school of no structural integrity, of low quality, and say cost $1 million from the bill. The EFCL board directed that these awards be made in an amount of above $3 million for each, with no questions asked or no review of any design in comparison to the cost proposed by Junior Sammy to ensure that this contractor was not being grossly overpaid for a shoddy structure. What madness! How utterly reckless and corrupt. Not my words, I'm reading. Miss Tamara Francis, not vodka. The senior project manager who was placed on these jobs asked no questions and raised no concerns, as she seemed to facilitate the practices of this. They use adjectives that I leave it out there. Of this, you could put them back in on your end. She seemed to facilitate the practices of this EFCL board led by Arnold Pigott Love and Service. How did this project manager supervise the work with no drawings? Now, I have seen in my life magic. I have seen magic. And I know that magic exists. So if the EFCL is employing magic, I support it. Use magic in the award of contracts. How did the project manager supervise the work with no drawings? Magic. How did she certify the works? Magic. This is either severe incompetence or deliberate facilitation of the corruption. It could be magic. This person who was known to facilitate the corruption of the previous administration was now promoted by the EFCL board led by Arnold Pigott and rewarded with an exorbitant pay despite being much less qualified than many project managers in the company and incompetent. I don't know that because she's using magic. And maybe this person doesn't understand magic. It seems the reason now for her promotion is known. It could still be magic. What is even stranger is that, and the plot thickens, the amount stated in letters of awards indicated that they were exclusive of VAT and contingency. Yet in the submissions by Junior Sammy, it is seen that a 20% of the contract sum and 12.5% VAT was already added to the figures. Hence the $3,366,980.26 Canadian for Barakpur Vidic and $3,198,617 TT dollars 43 cents Canadian for New Grant already included VAT and contingency, but the letters of awards show the said figures as exclusive of VAT and contingency. Again, you see, this is why I don't like when people just drop crap in my mailbox. If you do not understand magic, Google it. This is more magic. Now the question arises, what was really paid to Junior Sammy for works which the design was not known, since the Express article said the figures for Junior Sammy for the Barakpur, Vidic and New Grant primary schools were $4.975 million and $5.478 million respectively. This is approximately $2 million more for each than what Junior Sammy's proposal shows. Magic is expensive. To add to the utter deceit, is that the source to the Express article had the nerve to say that Junior Sammy's price was lower than all other tenders. What does one expect? Junior Sammy was never invited and submitted a tender almost 2 weeks after the tender closed and all the bids were open and known. How outrageous! Obviously, the lower price was based on... Now, he is using words like bids and rigging, and I don't want to use those words, by the EFCL board, because bid rigging is a crime. It's a crime. And this board is led by Arnold Pigott, a man, if you remember, full of love and service. So Mr. Arnold Pigott will never be involved in anything that includes the words bid and rigging. How did the EFCL board invite a contractor and accept a tender after the other tenders were open and known? Let's look at the awards again. Focus on the last page of each letter of award. take a look at the suspension letter dated August 15, 2016 to Mr. Frederick, signed by Miss Anissa Rahim. Now, Anissa Rahim is the person who signed for Louis Frederick on the 2 letters of approval. So maybe Miss Anissa Rahim could assist the investigators in the investigations. Now, she seems to know Mr. Piggott and his family. And I don't know if she too needs to go with him to attend to family business in Panama. And I hope not. Because I hope that those with the authority to invite them in for tea and scones do so at the earliest possible time so as to prevent any delays in them having to go and visit their families in Panama. The letter shows that Mr. Frederick was suspended on August 15, 2016 because he failed to comply with the unethical instruction by the EFCL board to sign the letters of award for Barack Paul New Grant. Yet the letters of awards were signed for Mr. Frederick by Anissa Rahim on the very same day that he was suspended for not wanting to sign said letters. Now they use a word there that rhymes with board. And it starts with F. And there's a board squad in Trinidad that should take a look at this. What is even more fishy is that the contractor signed the letters of awards on August 12th before the employer signed on August 15th. Again, what do you all think that was? I bet in magic. Because you signed before it was awarded. Magic. It should be noted that the same Miss Anissa Rahim, who was known to facilitate, led by Mr. Arnold Piggott, Love and Service, and rewarded from the Education Facilities Company Limited, 15th of August 2016, Mr. Louis Frederick, Education Facilities Company Limited, Long Circular Place, 2nd floor, 74 Long Circular Road, Maraval. Yes, sir. Suspension of duties. When you open a letter and you look at the and it says suspension of duties, you do not feel as if you're in your happy place. Because it's like the word but. Nobody ever says something to you and then says but, and something good follows. Nobody ever says, you're doing a crappy job, but take a promotion. Or, I don't really like you anymore, but let's continue to date. It doesn't work so, but, right? So, suspension of duties. I am directed by the board of directors, led by Arnold Piggott, Mr. Love and Service, to advise you. This is just advice. Take it in the spirit of advice. That you have been suspended with immediate effect from your duties at the Education Facilities Company Limited. Your suspension is to facilitate an investigation into the circumstances surrounding your refusal to follow the written instructions given to you to issue letters of awards for projects that are critical to the commencement of the new school term in Barack Paul, New Grant, and Granville. The company will communicate with you further in this regard in due course. Yours sincerely, Anissa Rahim. I think we can take a break. What did Mr. Love and Service decide to do when his board tried to engage in very questionable behavior with regards to awarding contracts of public funds to repair and build and outfit schools? What did he do?
Just hold them and walk them. Hold them and walk them.
PNM.
Hold them and walk them. Hold them and walk them.
What they do, Mr. Frederick? How wicked business. How wicked business. How long we on? I feel like we're on for about an hour already. Listen, it's a Friday evening. This is a lot of stuff to take on, to talk to for the whole weekend. Because clearly, what was just shown is Arnold Pigott resigned, and the resignation letter is dated May 27, 2017. And it is copied to Dr. the Honorable Keith Rowley. And it is copied to the Honorable Colby Imbert, Minister of Finance. Now these two gentlemen have a part to play in this, what is the second act of this grand production. Because the first act involved the invitation to tender, the pre-qualification, the sanitization of a list. They're saying, you could come and you can't come and let me play. And then the invitations were prepared and sent in at cost to the companies. And then the invitations were opened, they were read, and they were approved, and they were awarded. And then Love and Service and his crew, led by, parachuted in and said, wait, in the name of truth, justice, and the Trinidad and Tobago way, let us corrupt this process. Let us invite somebody who was not invited and get them to tender. Let's do that. That is Act 1. At the close of Act 1, if you remember, the man who was supposed to sign those documents was suspended. And on the same day, somebody promoted above him, she was told to suspend him and sign. You see, that's what's wrong with Trinidad. Eh? That's what's wrong with Trinidad. If you in a line in the bank, and you say, we stand up for this, the man behind you say, boy, get out my way, you blocking me. Trinidadians don't stand together. They always have somebody willing to bust your throat, take your place, do the thing, and ride off into the sunset. Yes? So, what do? Act 2 is supposed to start with standing on the balcony, his head blowing in the breeze. The Prime Minister announces there will be justice in the land. Call forth our best investigators and ask them to have tea with these people to determine if any of this is true. Because if any of this is true, a lot of people are going to have conversations with people on tables with little hammers. And we need to get to there. We, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, need to get to there. We have to. We're going to fix this place.
Recession, no matter way.
Not vodka.
And you will see how we go party to the full extreme and light it up with kerosene. Oh God, the treasury could burn down. We jumping still. Economy could fall down. We jumping still.
What time did we start? 8:30? Because it is 9:30. So we are running out of time because we set aside 1 hour, and all of you people must be getting ready, splashing on your Old Spice and your Brut to go down on the avenue and yeah?
Just hold them and walk them. 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 Just hold them and walk them. Hold them and walk them. Hold them and walk them.
Monday, we will take these documents to the investigators and ask them to see if what they portend, what they contain, what they insinuate and suggest is in any way true. Because if it is, they're going to have to take action. on Mr. Love and Service and the entire EFCL board, all who were in the loop. The only guy who appears to be free and clear here, in my estimation, they fired him. He said, slow your roll, Love and Service. This is not right. It's not right. It's wrong. And it opens us up to reputational challenge. We in a problem, Trinidad and Tobago. Joke and fun aside, we in a problem. And every whistleblower in this country who want a bus mark, send it to me. Send it to me. Because I will make sure that we will have a functioning platform. We do not have a media that is free and unfettered. So we will have to create one. And we will have to use this platform. So if you have information, send it to me. Because we want to clean up the Royal Imperial Majestic Banana Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. We have a swamp to drain. A nasty, massive, corrupt country. Corrupt to the core. Everything. Everything. If you want to go up for communion, you could bribe somebody and skip a line. This country, corrupt to the core. And we need to deal with that honestly as people. We need to say to ourselves, we have a responsibility. So we are going to be calling on people in Trinidad and Tobago to stand with us. I tell you why you have to stand with us. It's not that we don't think that you have lives and you shouldn't be in Aria last night. I don't want you to waste your Old Spice and your Brute. But if we do not say that this is the country we want, others will decide what country we get, and we will have to live with it. Because if this whistleblower did not blow this whistle, we would not have known none of this. None of it. We would have known none of it. Right now, we are resting in blissful ignorance with a lot of stuff going on that we are unaware of. And that is wrong. That is wrong. We need to fix that. We, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, we need to fix all of these things. It's going to be uncomfortable for a while. It's going to be. But we need to, if what we want is a country that works, where the $60 billion that is spent every year as the budget is spent in the development of the nation and on its people. Like this minister, you'll realize I use one bad word for neither. Minister of Public Utilities, Fitzgerald Hines, told the nation that government's job is not the provision of government services. And he was in England, amazed at the magic that every time he turned on the tap, water came out. You want a country that works? You have to build a country that works. Ali G said, you want water, you want to afford house, you want affordable food, you want security, but you're saying you're not political. Call your fairy godmother. If you want a party, if you want a country that works, you need a political party. And it doesn't have to be the Progressive Empowerment Party. It could be your party. Start one tonight. Organize your friends. Organize your friends. And you could start your own party tonight. We need 50, 100 parties, not 2. We've been stuck in a bizarre and morbid game of political tennis, choosing the lesser of two evils between 2 parties for 50 years. How could, so by definition, we've been going downhill, and we accept that. We accept that. We've accepted that we're going downhill. Listen. At the end of the day, we're surrounded by intelligent people. We're surrounded by them. This is a nation. Last night I shared a video. A man leave Trinidad. His work was frying wonton. Reach in Canada and invent a wonton making machine and gone into business and supplying wontons to the whole of Canada now. He and his 2 children. This is a country where if you built it out properly, that same guy could have been here selling wontons to the world from Trinidad. We need to give our people hope and opportunity and let them thrive. Trinidadians and Tobagonians are massively talented, beautiful, capable people. We've been put on this earth to make a statement. And the statement shouldn't be of a complicit, compliant people raped into submission for 5 decades. We need now to decide what we want to do as a people. PEPTrinbago@gmail.com. Send them an email. Start it with love and some service. Don't follow bigger. Just send them an email. Tell them my name is, my constituency is, my email address is, my phone number is. These are my expertise. And this, or if I have no expertise, I just want to join. I want to come and help and be and turn chicken on the barbecue, because we don't want those kind of deep pocket financiers to finance us and end up having to do this kind of bacchanal when we in government. We want to be able to make sure that we owe the people and the people own us. Yes? So, PEPTrinbago@gmail.com. Tomorrow at noon, there's going to be a meeting, a gathering, 19 Stanmore Avenue. Come down. We'll spill out into the yard if it gets full. Come down. Sign up. Meet the team. Volunteer. Give your service. Because I know how sexy I am and how enjoyable it is to watch me every night. But going forward from this video thing, if we want a better country, because I'm really not an entertainer. So if I'm doing this is a means to an end, and that end must be a better country. Yes? And I invite everybody to join the party. On January 17, 2018, there's going to be an election for political leader, party chairman, treasurer, and every other position. And I hope there are 100 people who put their name down for political leader. Let's get the best of everything in a truly democratic organization. Yes? So, thank all of you who's here with me tonight. It's always a loving experience. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your weekend. The next time you'll be seeing me is on Monday, unless something erupts over the weekend in the Royal Imperial Majestic Banana Republic, as has been known to be done. But until then, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you on Monday evening at 8 o'clock sharp. Stay safe, Trinidad and Tobago.